So this is where we're at right now. You have a head coaching change with the Philadelphia Flyers because they absolutely stink. You have a lockout in baseball, so you kind of have to hope, wish, and pray that it's lifted and the players and the union decide, what the heck they're going to do together and make this work. So some of these teams, a la the Philadelphia Phillies, can potentially make a move. The Philadelphia Eagles are, dare I say it, in the mix. In the playoff picture, which I think for a lot of people, if you were to look at this season of Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, first-time head coach, a relatively young quarterback, if you still want to call him a rookie with a handful of games from last year, I would say now, definitely a second-year starter, but a young quarterback, mind you. What's it about? What's it about? Where are we going with this team? Where's the progression? Where's the growth? And those questions, to some extent, are pretty much starting to be answered. And then you have the Philadelphia 76ers, which always leave a little bit of that saltiness in your mouth, right? Does it not? Because if there was ever a sensitive Susie of a franchise out there, it's the Philadelphia 76ers, who right now have dug themselves such a deep hole with Ben Simmons. Forget about the fact that they won 2 in a row. They won 3 out of 4. Embiid scored 43. You hold off a feisty, pesky Hornet squad in OT. Now every day it's like the Ben Simmons, who wants to play with Simmons watch. Like at this point, who the hell cares? Because unless the Philadelphia 76ers actually decide to openly really try to move him, which I don't believe they are. I really don't believe they are. I think they're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And you know what? For all the talk about Ben Simmons, right? What is this, rocket science that people think he's not going to play another game for the Philadelphia 76ers? Like, I need talking heads nationally to tell me that. We know that. But his fines now have reached $7 million, which is fine with me. So I can tell you right now, I don't buy this notion. No one cares where Ben Simmons is going to wind up. That's not the question. The question is, when is he going to get moved? Start asking the right questions. So you have all these multiple networks and these reports out there suggesting that Damian Lillard, would go to Philly, but not for Ben Simmons. So what does that mean? You're not going to move Ben Simmons? Now you have Luka, right? Luka Doncic, Dallas, saying, hey, I would love to play with Ben Simmons. Okay. Now you've got the Pelicans. Now you've got Indiana. I mean, at this stage of the game, it's like, come on already. You know what? Or get off the pot. Do something. Please. Do something. Just move him. Forget about the speculation. This guy's been fined close to $7 million, which includes Monday's game at Charlotte. He doesn't want to be here. So Daryl Morey can sit there all he wants. All he wants to say, we'll allow this to go on for 4. No, you're not. You're not going to do it. It's like ridiculous. It's like, stop with this Simmons is always trending. Until something actually happens, come see me, then talk to me. Because there's nothing new here. And that's why I want to talk to Kai, because, he's gone back and forth a little bit with his opinions, and he's right to do that. He's right to do that. We thought hell or high water, he was going to get moved prior to the season. We thought hell or high water, he was going to get moved last year during the trade deadline. We thought hell or high water, he was actually going to suit up and play this year. None of that has happened. None of it. And if I'm a Sixers fan, it's got to be so annoying to me, right? It's got to be so annoying to me that his name is out there all over the place. So if the Philadelphia 76ers can get Damian Lillard and they don't have to package Ben Simmons, I bet you everyone would jump through hoops because now all of a sudden, oh, no, keep Ben because that brings in DL. Man, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. He does not want to be part of this organization anymore. He just doesn't. So this is where you get into this slippery slope. Because now all of a sudden it's, hey, man, I would love, it reminds me of the movie Hoosiers, right? They didn't want Gene Hackman as head coach anymore. The town wanted to get rid of him, right? Pass the ball 4 times, don't shoot, my team's on the floor, we'll play 4 versus 5. Remember that scene? Literally tells the sharpshooting Jimmy Chitwood, hey, I don't care if you play on the team or not. And then when they were basically going to vote him out and Hackman was going to go back in the Navy and float away somewhere or, try to coach again in Ithaca after he slugged one of his kids and got the lifetime ban, all the townspeople in the town of Hickory had a meeting. And they basically voted Gene Hackman out, Norman Dale out as head coach of the Hickory Hoosiers. Until Jimmy Chitwood bounces the ball through the parking lot, comes in, hands it to little Ollie. He goes up there and he says to the guy, I got something to say. And he says, I think it's time for me to play ball again. And everyone's up in arms, blah, 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 because they know, and they're up in arms in the right way. They know, hey, Jimmy's playing because we're about to send Gene Hackman up a raft. And then Jimmy Chitwood pulls the all-time magic trick. The all-time blow the smoke. Turns around and says, hey, wait a second. One condition. I play, coach stays. He goes, I go. Now, was it Oscar-worthy? No. It was a great movie that should have won an Oscar. I believe it did for the score. But was that scene Oscar-worthy? No, my point is he's basically saying, yeah, I'm going to play, man, but I want to play with this guy. So think about this with the Lillard situation, right? Trade me to Philly. Trade me to Philly, but only if Ben plays. Only if Ben's there. It's almost like the same, it's like the same thing. As crazy as it sounds, you try to draw these parallels. But this ain't the movies. This ain't Hollywood. That's not how it's going to end up. That's why if you're a Sixers fan, you got to be, at this point, it's got to be nauseating to you. It's got to be nauseating to you because this team came out of the right, boom, like a cannon. Shot right out of a cannon. What were they, 8-2? 9-2? Then they dropped 5 in a row? Then they had a little bit of a lull, and now all of a sudden they won 2 straight? Okay, fine. You're 13 up and 11 down. You're 4 back of Brooklyn. I always say, get me to Christmas, first of the new year, to see where you're at in the NBA season. That's kind of where you start to put all your eggs in a basket, so to speak. And you got to know what direction they're going. At this point, it's just a matter of when you get rid of them. Are they a better team with Ben Simmons on the floor or without? And they pretty much already decided, and so is he, we don't need you, I don't need you. That's why I don't really get into this, well, Luka would love to play with him. Well, Dallas is not trading Luka, but maybe the Dallas Mavericks trade a couple pieces to get Ben Simmons in return. There you go. Perfect. But, man, I'm telling you right now, if the 76ers, and this is where I will not change my opinion on this, if this GM is so stubborn where he's like, the hell with this, I can do this for 4 more years, and if you really ride this season out without trading him, just to spite him, you are a jackass. You are. You are a flat-out jackass if you do that. It's malpractice. And it's par from the course if you're a Sixers fan and what they've done over the last several years. I'm telling you that right now. You ride it out without getting rid of this guy, and right now he can help Joe Embiid even though he doesn't want to be on the floor. To me, it's utter chaos, pandemonium, malpractice. It's beyond being a jackass. It really is. It's what this franchise has done over the last several years. Because they got their heads so far up there, you know what. So when the GM says, I can go on with this for the next couple years, get the hell out of here with that nonsense. Either you know what or get off the pot. Figure it out. because you're wasting the big man's prime. 16 past the 4 o'clock hour, Sixers Insider, Kai Carlin, coming up on the other side.